welcome to another kit building video. This one being a slightly different day to normal in that it's my birthday that it's going live. Yes, I am recording quite a bit in advance because of the amount of editing that is required when doing these videos. While I'm doing the building, I take my glasses off because they're distance, not close up. So, trying to not have the instructions go flying. Today, as promised last month, I can get it in focus, I am doing Metcalfe PO226 Parish Church. No village or town is complete without its place of worship. A beautiful detailed kit with added laser cut components for extra realism. Those laser cut components should be a photo of now, but I've already pre-done them. We've got a notice board, it won't focus, which is actually quite cool. A little silver cross, I'll use my hand, there we go, hand painted by me, and two of these gates. Green posts to match the notice board and brown for the rest of it. Right. I just realised I haven't got all the windows nice and stacked next to me. I have done a lot of preparation last night, which it took me nearly 2 hours to do the advanced preparation, which is fitting the glazing in the various window frames. These are for the nave, or naves, the bits on the outer edge of the church. Then, oh no, those are the naves. They are. Let's get a bit of white. Use the instructions, you can see it. Hopefully, there we go. You can see that they are printed in black, and there's another piece of white paper, so there it is. Use that for the bigger pieces. Then we've got big windows. That's actually got 3 layers. You've got the glass, then you've got a laser cut wood bit that does the frame for the window, and then the card frame, and then the really majestic window. That is 4 layers deep, with 2 layers for the window frame, 1 for the printed window frame, and 1 glazing unit. And then bell tower, there's no glazing in that, it's louvers, I can't pronounce it, louvers. I have pre-prepared 1 of the 2 buttresses that go on the outside corner of the tower. The other one I've just stuck the internals together, but I haven't put the wrapping on. I'm going to do that on camera to show how it's done. I did get a little bit carried away. That's the entryway porch. I decided I'd have a little test just to see if I could do it, because I had to put the get the white paper again, put glazing in the side, and then fold the bits round. So I thought, why not just do the whole thing? But the whole church is done in sub-assemblies, like the 2 nave bits. that's not even the full length. That's just one edge of it. One side, the other side, they go opposite. We've got the main nave, which goes with that on the other end, with the big window space. Camera can see through. There's a lot of stuff, including the Lych Gate, which I haven't built because I wanted to build that 2-camera. All I've done for that is fold the flooring. That'll be stuck on when I get round to it. And as I said, I've done what they call the porch. So we'll switch to the camera that looks down, and the first thing to do is start on the tower. That is the fun one. Well, the easy part, because it's just basically like that. It'll be tower like that. I have to do so these bits fold down to create crenellations. So we'll fold them over first, and then get our trusty card glue. I was using it last night and the lid decided it wanted to stick just. Make sure that it's clean and that the glue will come out nice and small amount on each bit, not a lot. And then fold them over, hold them down. My thumb's got a little bit of glue on because I just took a load of dried up glue off the edge of the spout on my glue, which was a bit daft. This one doesn't want to stick down on the end nearest me. Okay. Those are the first things to fold over. Then we use the 4 tower window frames, which, as I said, I made yesterday. We will also need a big chancel window, which will be going in there. I think that has to come out for part of the joining, so I will remove that. It won't be seen, so that doesn't really matter. And we also have, I believe, that window. So both of the fun windows are opposite each other. Oh no, it's not. It's just the one window. That's not needed yet. It's just that's not needed, it's these. And then these 2 bits of card, which have a little fold. There should be enough light to see it. That goes at the bottom, and it's used to hold the floor in place. The floors are these. One goes there. And then the other one goes like that. Don't do that until we've got the bell tower windows glued in, and the west window, as they call it. Okay. Doesn't require a lot of glue, just enough that this will stick down. I'll probably put a bit too much on there, and make it so that that is all lined up. Push it down, get an offcut of either card or plastic, and wipe away the excess glue. Wouldn't be seen at normal viewing distances, but don't want big blobs anyway. I definitely don't want glue on the printed bits. Next one, try and put less glue on this one. Just a little bit down the edges and on the bottom. This time I will do this end and place it in very carefully. Try and get it so it's all lined up. There we go. That was relatively quick. Once again, a little bit of glue gone over, so just wipe it like that. That's two of the louvered windows. That's better. Louvered. Put glue on. We pick it up. It's easier to do it this way than it is to just lie it down when you've not got glass or glazing to be able to see through. So that fits on like that. Once again, a little bit of overspill, but not too much this time. And finally, louver number 4. Glue on the edges, not on the very top, because it's not needed. There won't be any visible light through there. I would like to put lighting in this at some point. And it doesn't actually have a solid floor on the main part of the church that I can see. No, it doesn't. It's just on the aisles and roof where you get a floor type thing. And I've just got to go and do something because my insulin pump has buzzed at me and it's over that way, so I've got to move things. So I've now put those 4 on, and next bit, the window, which will be going in like that. So as with the louvers, whatever you want to call them, you put it round like that, just a little bit. That's not on camera, I've just noticed. And then line it up so it is centered and not at an angle, like so. Oh, that's gone off. The bottom has to line up with the bottom, so I'm going to have to stand it up and push it over ever so slightly. There we go, that will do. Push it down so the glue bonds. and then it will go like that, but we've got to put the floors, the two walls in. That's at an angle. Should be okay. We put one there and one there. This is a lot easier. It's just a bit of glue on the back, and then place it in so that the base is level with the bottom of the tower. Make sure it's not standing proud. Do the same for the other one. Also make sure that the sides will go up without it coming off. So glue, and then stick it down. Make sure it does not go below the bottom or beyond this edge, and press it down so it starts bonding. That's that, and then we've got the floors. Bottom floor will be in and round, so we'll do the thin bit of glue there, the two sides first. This part will go in last because we need to put the intermediate floor in, because that helps it hold shape. Also need to put the roof in, which also helps it hold shape. A little bit too much glue on that, but I can just wipe the glue that's on the table away. Make sure that is going to stand up properly. That's bell tower. Then we do that so it goes in, and the little bit sticks out through that hole that I made sure was clear. We also need the roof, which is that. And that'll have to go in before we close the backside down as well. So, glue on 3 sides again on the intermediate floor. It's where the campanologists would be when they're ringing the bells. People who don't know what that is, that's bell ringers. It's the correct name for them. My classics teacher in secondary school was a campanologist. So just make sure that is down against the top of the 2 card bits. And then it's the tower top which slides in and fits like that. Once again, thin bit of glue around the 3 edges. This church doesn't have a steeple as such, it just has a triangular form, as with the building, the entrance building for that I built in the last video, which I put away now, so I'm not going to go to it out again because it's that way and it takes a lot of effort. Right, those 3 are done. There's a bit of glue on there, but that won't be seen once this side is glued. So here it's just a bit of glue on the edges, glue up there, glue there, close. And I got a bit of glue on the outside, I didn't want that. I also got glue on my fingers, which is really annoying. So, to hold it down, because this side's got bits sticking out, basically just do that. And then that is the first subsection done. Because the roof go on and then stick like that. I don't think there's any... Is there a joiner? I can't see anything that would act as a joiner. Doesn't show. I'll do that last anyway. So, we've done the tower. Nice and neatly. Can't even see the join, which is... that's... there. There's the join. But it'll be hidden behind one of the buttresses. Like that. They go on last anyway. Right. Oh, we do need that still. We've got to stick that onto there. Make sure it is lined up. That's the east wall support. So, glue. Make sure there's enough. And then stick it down, making sure it goes all the way through. My intention for this is that it's being used as a film set, or green room for a film set. So there'll be people inside the church and film crews outside. Because that's something that I've been involved with. So, next bit is the nave section. So we turn it over and we get the strengthening bits. Don't think I need these. No, these bits aren't really necessary, but... oh no, they are. They need to be taken out. So, this table I don't mind cutting into. The table where all my bits are on top of, I do mind cutting into. So, I have to cut this out, because this helps form part of the brace. So, one will go there. Normally I'd be using my cutting mat, but I didn't notice that these needed cutting out yesterday. So, I'm doing it on camera, on my desk. As long as my desk stays flat, then building these kits doesn't cause issue. Where's the brace? There's the brace piece. It just folds and fits in to there. once I've stuck these down so that they line up with the arches, put the arches in, and then we put in 6 teeny tiny windows. Move my knife out the way, and you know, I could use that under here because it's the right angle. Use it to hold the roofing. Oh, it's not quite. Won't work. I was thinking I could use it to hold. I could potentially do it. We'll see. Anyway, glue these, then those 6 windows. So, glue, not a crazy amount, just enough that it sticks. And then, as I said, not a crazy amount. Make sure the arches line up and the base also lines up. So to do that, make sure you can stand it up and then press down so that the glue starts bonding the 2 bits of card. I've just realised that's in need of a bit of a trim. There we go. Got as much of it as I could. Just fold the rest over. Right. This one now. Make sure it will fit before I put glue on. Little bit of glue. Don't go crazy. Never go crazy when doing glue. There we go. And once again, the bottom has to line up as well as the arches. Move that glue so it doesn't go on the printed bit. Make sure that's not too high, and then just press it down so it starts bonding. That's all glue does, it bonds the pieces of card together. There we have the 2 strong bits of the nave now, and make sure that doesn't really matter that that's getting a little bit damaged, as long as the stonework doesn't get damaged. We need 6 of the 12 windows to go in these 6 places. So, once again, a little bit of glue, and just put the windows so they are in the middle. That one's slightly at an angle. Stonemason was drunk. We'll do all 6 of these windows, and then it'll be. I don't want a bubble on it. Do all 6 windows, and then get on with the rest of the building. I know 2 videos ago I did all the windows by cutting, but that took a lot of editing to make sure it wasn't. So make sure the audio and visuals lined up. I've already got to do some editing with this video, which is going to be annoying, but oh, I need to trim that a bit, so where's my scissors? There's a bit of glazing that's gone a bit wide, so trim it at an angle, and the bit of glazing is out the way. I've got a bit of glue there. Don't want the cardboard sticking to my table. Now I've just got to get the glue off my fingers. Right. As usual, a little bit of glue goes a long way. We're now on to the other side. Can never remember which side is which on a church. I know that they go east-west lengthways. The tower would be on the west side. I'm thinking because St Mary's Church here in Atherstone is virtually behind me, just the other side of Market Square. So I can just picture it in my head. Ow! Head. That did not do what I wanted. My thumb stuck to it. Now I've got glue on the back of my fingers. At least the glue didn't come off the cardboard and it didn't stick to the table. That would have been really annoying. Yeah, so that would be the west with the tower. North, south, east. Other way around. East, west, north, south. I was having to think then. I don't like thinking. These videos are meant to be easy. And having to think is not easy. Last window for this part of the nave. And stick it down. There we go. That's the nave glazing done. Actually, it'll be that way. I've just looked at the instructions. So the tower goes into the open bit. Okay. That's useful to know. Next bit, putting that and then folding across. So, as with doing the floors in the tower, thin bit of glue, put it in the gap, hold it until it starts bonding. I'm looking at all the different things I'm meant to be doing. Next bit is the nave roof, which is going to be interesting. Right. That is... Why is my glue dripping on my finger? Just a thin bit on the edge. Fold over. And hold it in place. Get rid of that bit of glue on the table. Good job I've got some cloth next to me that I can use to clean my fingers. Right, that should... Yep. There's that bit. The next bit involves this. this, and if I can find them, are they the right size? I'm being a bit cheeky here. This is waste card. All it needs is something to brace that's the right height. So I'm using waste card. It actually says in the instructions, use a bit of waste card. What we want is that pushed up like that on both sides, and then a bit of waste card to brace it. It looks a bit high. Which is a bit high, so a bit more trimming. Advantage of using scissors, I can just brace. There we go. Bit of glue on two sides of this. Doesn't matter if it's a mess, because all it's doing is holding the roof support up. I'm just waiting for it to start bonding, and then I will do the same trimming for this side. Needs a little bit more trimmed. There we go. And then that goes against there. Once again, bit of glue on the two edges, and hold it in place until it starts bonding. My fingers are sticking together. I think there's a lot of glue involved. So this roof will just sit on like that and be perfectly safe. Then it'll go with the roof in place on there, which will actually help hold it even more steady. With the roof in place, there's a bit of card that goes that end to be brickwork or stonework, and then we have, I think no, it's not these ones, two more to go either side. It'll look nice when it's done. It's just it is actually quite a complex kit. So, bit of glue on here and here. Try and make sure that glue does not go on the table, because it would be annoying if it did. And then just a thin bit of glue on the very edge on the bottom of the roof. Reason being, that will hold it down. Make sure it is in the middle and press down. I'm going to have to clean that glue in a second. That is the roof. problem with glue that wants to flow so freely. It goes everywhere. I'm deliberately doing that so that it doesn't have anything stick to it. Bring the nave back. And then, carefully, put glue on there. That bit, that bit, that bit. And then just slot it in place. Move the nave out of the way a sec. Put the glue on the edges. Just enough that it'll hold it in place. And then put that in. And make sure it stays in place. This bit of fluffiness on the edge of the card will disappear in just a second, thankfully, because that will take its place. So, a little bit of glue. That's probably a bit too much on the one side, but any overspill on this will disappear under some capping stones, thankfully. Press down. There we go, that's one wall. Next we want the two edge walls, which are these. I'm going to have to do this so I can see it, and then press it down once I have got the camera, or got it into a view where the camera can see it. As with the triangular support piece, it doesn't really matter if there's a bit of overspill on that, because it'll be hidden under cupping stones, which look like that. I'm not doing that until the very end, because it'll be just a little bit annoying trying to put them on when it's not put together. I've got glue on my finger, and again. It's a problem with such fine pieces of card. You can't judge where the glue's going when it blends up on your finger. Hold you in place. Come on, stick. There we go. That's the roof. That, according to instructions, should now stick onto there, which is what I'm going to do. So, we put a thin sliver of glue down on the bits that will make contact. Preferably without getting any on the printing. And then push it in place and hold it. Make sure it is all level. Just hold it like that and make sure everything is flat, and make sure my fingers don't stick to it. It's already getting into a decent size. Once again, I need my bit of waste card. Scrape off a bit of glue that's gone a bit in the wrong place. There we go. There's the west and the east. West side, east side. Next bit is the chancel and altar. Actually, no, that's... I can't remember which way is which. We'll move this onto the main table because we need to get out these pieces. This. We've got the fancy window. There. And 1, 2, 6 tiddly little windows. These ones. We don't put the arched windows in until we get to the aisles, and I'll just drop something to do with the Lych Gate. Right, first thing, these go like that. That's not going to be too difficult. Once again, got to make sure they do not go below the floor. They have to be flush at the bottom. So, sparingly use a bit of glue. Make sure there is glue on the bits that look thin. And then fit that in. Like so. Stand it up to hold the, make sure it doesn't go below the base, and then make sure it starts bonding. Make sure I get the glue on the correct side for this piece. Don't want to put it backwards. I've done that before. Sparingly use a glue, don't need a lot. Once again, fit it round the door first, and make sure that the base is level with the rest of the base. And then push it down so it starts bonding. Go like this, just to make sure it's not going to be visible. And then 6 windows. 7 if you include the big window, but I'm going to do the little ones first. So, as I've been doing on this one, we'll have the windows in place looking from the front. That one went in pretty well because that's a perfect shape to be able to do it. The upper ones are a bit more difficult, but they'll be done. There's bubbles there, but that'll still hold. Put that in place and push down, start bonding. 2 for this side, 2 for that side. Once again, don't need a lot of glue. do it from the top this time and line it up. That one could do with being a bit higher, doesn't really matter too much. There's that one. And that's not quite centered. There's that one. That one is centered now, or as centered as I can get it. Okay, 2 more windows. Doesn't require a lot of effort, this one. 2 more little windows, I should say. There's more effort doing the tower and aisles, as they've called it. This is just sticking windows in and then doing the roof. Which, as with the nave, will require some offcuts of card. Next bit is the big window, the fancy window, the one that has to go in and fit like that. That'll look really nice. I've decided I'm not painting these windows. I could do, but I'm not going to. It's going to be as though the stained glass was removed. So we put that in, do that to hold it in place, and then push down. And then we've got the really fancy sculpted window in place. That looks brilliant. Okay. That'll go like that. We now need roof and more offcuts. So scissors, bit of card, offcut 1, offcut 2. That's all I need, just a little bit. And it pushes that way. Try going the other way. The formers for the roof, which is this bit, those formers won't work if I go the other way. So that goes like that. It doesn't matter that these offcuts are smaller than the actual roof formers. They're just there to hold it vertical. Just holding it in place until his fingers are stuck together. Holding it in place until the glue has started working. Spin it around to do this side. Thin bit of glue. And put it in place. Hold it until it's really started bonding. That one's not central, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't affect the roof, which just uses the formers, these bits, for its height. Right, I'm going to... They are done. Once again, bit of glue on top of the two former bits, and then very thin on the edge of the roof, underside edge of the roof, and then in the middle, plonk it down, hold it down while the glue starts bonding the cardboard. As with the previous roof, there are two side pieces, and if I can find it, another V shape. I can't remember where I put it. That's what happens when you just put everything out. I may have to look for that, but I can put that in afterwards anyway, so we'll put the two side pieces on because I've got them. I think I may have accidentally dropped the other V piece because it's not where I thought it was. No. Okay. I can do that at a later point and then not worry about it. So, glue on three sides. 1, 2, 3. Hold it in place and fold this down so that it's acting to hold it all together. Bit of pressure. Trying to not use my right hand because that just got glue all over it. Just looking under table. Found it. There's the other V piece. I found what I was looking for. I saw it out the corner of my eye. Right, once again, small amount of glue on each bit. I'm trying not to get glue over my fingers because my fingers are getting sticky. That is the problem with using card glue. I put that in place and I push it down. There's that bit done. Then we put the two bits on either side. These are a bit easier to put glue on, as long as I don't get it all over my fingers. Stand it up, because that's easier for me, and put the inner walls in place. And then we have to get this put on the opposite end of the church building to the tower. That requires a little bit more sticking of stuff on here, being that piece. going to have to move my camera up slightly so that it can see what I'm doing now. We need to put this on here so it's perfectly square, and then that sits on top or against it. Make sure I put it the correct way round. Doesn't really matter because it's a it's cut perfectly, but I want to make sure that I get this in the correct place so that what I'm going to do is push it down like that. I can get more force to hold it in place. Right, that's in place. That will fit on there, which will give me the length of the church. That is a long building. Really long. And we've still got the aisles to do, as well as the porch entryway, which will be that end. Yeah, that is the tower is the west on a church. Right. At least I think it is. I'd need to have a look at Atherstone's church to make sure. Card glue all over, in place. Make sure the bottom sides go level. I'm deliberately pushing down here and making sure that the card is sticking together and any loose glue comes off. That is becoming a very big building. It's going to be the longest building I've done so far. That's saying something. That's actually looking really nice. We've got the fancy windows at either end. Not sure if the camera can focus on them because it's a bit close. And we've got all the other fancy bits. So, can we move this out of the way now? Yes. We now do the two aisles. Those are the floors. There's the aisles. And all the windows. Oh, and the doors. The doors are interesting. We've got one that side. One that side. They've got little windows. I didn't show that with the opening, did I? Right. First thing to do. Doors don't go on yet, so I have to take them out of the way. First thing to do is windows. So we want one of these to go in here. Got to be an angled one, because if we put the angled one up there, it'll be above the roof. And then we want half of the other windows. So we want either end, half the other windows. So move that over there. We'll start with my left and work across. So yeah, put windows in, then floor, then door. Come on, glue. A little bit too much came out there. But it should enable me to have a little bit of leeway in getting this in place. deliberately folding it over so I can make sure there's got to be a gap at the bottom for the floor. But there's window 1. Do the other end, and then the 3 middle. So, blue. As the saying goes, less is more. Once again, fit that in as centrally as I can. Make sure there is space for the floor at the bottom. And then stick it down. Just making sure that the floor space is there. Then it's the 3 windows in the middle. As I said, the door goes in last, so I'm not too worried about that. Nave side wall. That's what the window frame says. We'll do from the left to the right. These ones will be seen more easily, so it's better to get these central. There we go. It's as central as I can actually get it by eye. And as long as there is the gap on the bottom for the floor, it's okay. Don't overdo the glue. Keep saying it, but it's what needs to be done. And that was actually pretty good. Almost perfect straight away. Once again, glue along the edges, or 3 edges. I don't need it on the very top. It's not as if you'll see down inside that way. And there's one side done. And as I said, as long as the gap's there for the floor, which goes like that. Before we do the door, can't remember, this will be the north side. So we'll put the floor in. As per usual, thin bit of glue round the edges that are going to make contact with the wall. We've already done a test fit to make sure it does fit. And then put it in place. Make sure it is all in place and not standing proud at the bottom. Doesn't matter that there's a little bit of a gap there. I'm having the entrance on the south side because that's more in keeping with the church by me. Because the door's that end. Right, that's that one. We need the door, which will be like that once I've stuck glue to it. I'm not sure I'll need the door for the other side if I'm putting the porchway in. I've built the porch, so I'm going to be using it. You can see that indent there is where the porch would sit. I'm putting it on the other wall, so actually I will need the door, won't I? So that's not going to be an issue. That's one side done. Put it out of the way. Do the other side. The side that will have the entrance. Once again, windows first. All 5 of them. And then it'll be put the roofs on. I'm doing the main form before I put the roof on. It does say to put the roof on each one as you do them, but I'm not doing that. I want to get the 2 aisles built before I put their roofs on. Make sure that's got enough space for the floor and then press it down. As with all Metcalfe kits, this is a fairly simple kit to build. It's got enough detail that it can go on an exhibition quality layout. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and well, it looks like a real church. There is space underneath those, that's good. Intermediate windows. Put them in place. Like so. Doing this a bit quicker now because I'm getting more practice. I've already done one. That's got a little bit of overspill on glue. I'll be able to hide that. There'll be things blocking some of the church anyway, so maybe even a film crew with camera equipment. As I said, that is my aim, or my idea. It's being used as a green room for the TV and film production. Make sure those are all stuck down. Sorry about that, I need a quick drink. Strange as it may seem, you do get a bit thirsty when you're doing this. And once again, make sure the floor fits before I glue it in place. Yep, that will fit. So, glue on the edge, or the 3 edges that are going to be used for this aisle. Come on. Slight bit too much glue on there that time, but I'll get it in place. Oh, that's gone up. There we go. Yeah, the door does go on this side. I've just looked at the instructions. The door goes on, and then the porch goes there. That'll actually look quite good once it's done. I'm going to leave that one there to dry, get the other one back out, because we're now doing the roof, which is basically just that fitting down like so. Slight angle. It'll need some more of the inner walls and angled wall ends as well. So I'm going to get all of those. Where's the other one? Might be able to hide the fact that one of them's gone missing by just putting oh no, I found it. There's a lot of capping stones to go in as well, so it hides the fact that it's double thickness to do these walls on the sides. Right, roof. It's representation of a metal roof or a lead roof. That'll be interesting to keep upright because it's not got any support in the middle. As with all roofs and all bits, just a little bit of glue on the edge. Gone a bit too much on the one end, but that will be hidden below the... I didn't expect my other nave to fall over, or aisle. I keep calling these the naves, they're the aisles. But there we go. Hold it down to make sure it stays in place. Let that dry. Bring this one back, that's dry. And do this roof. That way round. Yep. Make sure they go the same way. I put the end windows on backwards. That was daft. And I can't put them the other way around. That's going to sit backwards because I put the windows on the wrong way. That was silly of me. There's no way of me being able to take them off without ripping it, I don't think. Can I do it without ripping? Given how long they've been... That was a bit silly of me. Considering it's got to sit like... I could trim this a little bit. Not supposed to do this, but it's the only way I can think to do it. Just trim the edge and trim both edges, just so it's to the very edge of the thing, and then do that. It's a workaround, but it's my own fault for not looking at what I was doing. Right. I should have paid attention. But I didn't. Right. Make sure that I'm only putting a tiny bit on the ends here because of doing that wrong. And then along here, my glue's starting to get a horrible bit at the top, which is why it's just gone out like that. But as I said, with the other part, or the other aisle, the strips will hide that. They'll also hide the fact that I've made a mistake. Thankfully, I didn't put the door in. Another thing I could have done with doing before I put the roof on, fortunately, I can do this quite easily by hand. I'm leaving a bit of a gap because there's meant to be a step. That should be too high this end. And that's come loose. Doing that. Push you down and in. I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjustment for this. I made a mistake. I'll admit I made a mistake. Fortunately, I am able to sort it out. Right, that's that side. I'll be able to sort this out without any major issues, thankfully. I'm just putting these on with a bit of an angle. They'll disappear once I'm not putting glue all the way across on this one because I've made a mistake. I need to sort it out somehow, and that's the best way I can think of doing it. Like that. The capstones will hide my blunder eventually. So that's not too bad. Might have to trim that a little bit. Otherwise it won't fit. It does now. That's the longest of the internal walls. I've had to trim it because this sticks in a bit. This one needs glue virtually all the way down. So once again, as thin an amount as possible, which is really difficult when the glue just wants to flow out. All the way down. Get the glue off my fingers. And there we go. Let's pull that one out, annoyingly. Once this is glued to the rest of the building, you won't notice that I've made a mistake. I hope. But that will go against there. Does that doorstep work as well? I think so. Don't need to worry about that bit. I can just stick that in there. When it's attached to the rest of the building, I'm going to have to do a little bit of cheeky glue here, just to hold that in place. I didn't want to have to do this because it's created a bit of a mess, but what I'm trying to do is hold that against there, because that way the roof should stay where it's supposed to. So I'm pressing in. I should really have been paying attention to what I was doing. Oh well. You see me actually make a mistake, just to show I'm human. That should be done. That's as done as it can be done. Done as it can be done. We'll do the walling on this one now. So it's this one this end. Just a blob. I need to get that glue off, because it's getting a bit bad. Okay. I can use some of the glue that's on the edge. Just putting it on the ends rather than the whole thing for the two end pieces. So it doesn't need to be all the way through. Not really. And that uses less glue. Just little dots of glue. Trying to make it so that that did not go as what I wanted. It stuck to me fingers. Try again. The brick courses are meant to be horizontal, so it goes that way round, gets pushed in place, and sticks down once I've done that. As I said, the main problem with doing these kits is you get glue all over your hands. And once they've got glue on your fingers want to stick to the card, which is not good. I will get as much of the stickiness off my fingers as I can. Right. We need... I'm just going to put the glue on this bit. It'll be so much easier. Bit of glue on the edge. And then the long piece that hasn't been trimmed goes in. That should have gone in first, I think. Doesn't say in the instructions that this one needed to go in first, but it obviously does need to go in first because that got bent. Oh well, I've got it in place now. That one is done. And the next bit we need 2 of these. We also need the main building back. I'm One goes there, on this side, and then the other one goes on the other side, at the same place. That'll be that one, going in like that. We will glue this on, as with previous bits, just a little bit of glue, not a lot. This has to line up in the middle with the ground. So before I start sticking it down properly, I just do that and then stick it on. I will do the other one at the same time because that saves trying to stick it on once I've got the other aisle on. We do a little bit of glue. Don't know why I sang that. And then line it up. Make sure it is level with the ground. And then stick it. Right. Go back to the south side. That will fit in there with the floor being, it'll look quite good. The roof has to go above. Okay. Right. Actually, I'll start on the other side. Do this one second. We'll do this side first, because I can get that in place better. Once more, glue on the bits that will definitely be sticking. Just a thin amount, not a great deal. These two bits where the building sticks to the rest, and then place it on. Make sure that it is pressed in, goes click. That is the north side. Just have to hold it down while the glue starts the bonding process. Make sure there's no loose or any blobs of glue underneath, or really significant ones on top. It's getting there. It'll be more interesting doing this side because it's now going to be at an angle. But I can do it. I've already done a dry fit. Once again, glue on the bits that will make contact with the rest of the building. Just a thin amount, doesn't need a great deal. And then this time you can see how I did this bit. I just push that into there, that into there. Put the roof so it's in the correct place. There you go, it clicked. And then hold it down. Make sure everything is horizontal. Put it like that to press it in. And we've got the longest single building so far. That will go there, making sure I don't put that on a bit of glue that's just come out the bottle, because it'll stick to the table otherwise. We do have to work out how to do the top of the tower, but I'm doing that last anyway. And I'll do the buttresses. Let's move you out the way. Do the second buttress that I have not yet done. That one is complete. This one needs doing. It's a bit more complicated because it's an awkward shape to fold. So, it's got to go round and fold it in. The way I did the first one was quite fun. I did one side, the long open side, and then the front bit without doing the... I held it like that briefly. Got to make sure that is right up against... It's not done it right. It's gone too low. That's annoying. Because at least it's not too difficult to sort out. Let's try again. I'll do it on here this time. I can see better. Up there. And down there. Put it so that the bottom is level with the bottom. It was easier doing this last night when my fingers weren't sticky. That's half the problem. My fingers are sticky. And once I'd got it to this point, I just put more glue down there and fold these ones over. And that's at an angle. Annoying. Just the top that's slightly skewed. Look. Right, that'll do. I can sort it out. My fingers are still trying to stick to it. This one's going to be the one that's not visible. That one, no issue. That one's a bit lopsided, so that'll go side where that'll go up this side. That'll go there because it's a bit annoying, and then that one will go there. You need to go roughly 45 degrees, so I will have to have it towards me to be able to see. And on that piece of paper there is buttress cupping stones to go over the bits so you don't see the internal card. I won't fit them just yet because what I am going to do just realised something that helps hide some of the mess is these. They go up and make the turret even higher. And then that's weird. They're supposed to go to the same height as the... I don't think I'll put them on, to be honest. Because they just look a bit weird. I know the colour picture on the box has them on, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not bothered with the clocks. I'm going to get a different manufacturer's clocks that I can put on, because the ones included are a bit plain, shall we say. And as you can see, I've cut things out to do that. That looks amazing. It's just a little bit of very thin MDF. Right, we'll stick the porch on, and then it'll be onto the Lych Gate. So, glue on the bits that will stick against there, push it on, tilt it like that so that I don't stick it to the table. I might not even bother with the buttresses because it doesn't need them at the moment. That's the main bit of the church done. Got the roof and then the capping stones all the way around, but they're not as urgent. Next bit, the Lych Gate. This is where it's a bit more interesting. That's the Lych Gate roof. Then we've got a wall, which I just dropped part of. So I will reach over and get it. And I'm knocking my table while I'm doing it. Right. I was going to do some of this preparation for the Lych Gate last night, and I just decided not to. That's got to be 3 bits thick for the walls, the wing walls. Or is it 4 bits? Looks like it's 4 bits thick. Yeah, 4 bits thick. Okay. We'll do the wing walls first. One thing I'm doing is attaching a notice board to one of these. So make sure these are all lined up. I'll do the 2 inner spaces first. Gives a decent width wall, so that's not bad when all 4 are together. Right, now we want the outer faces for these walls. Easier to put the glue on the back of the printed bit and then stick it on. Make sure it is all level like that, and do the other side. When this goes on a layout of some sort, these these walls will end going to a fence rather than another wall. Which will be different. Rather than having it go to another stone wall, which will look different to the rest of the wall, or this bit of the wall, I should say, I'm going to put a fence or a hedge that it's alongside. Why are you not? That'll make it. There's a gap. So I'm going to have to squeeze a little bit of glue. Just a tiny bit, just so that it goes in. Doesn't require a lot of effort to do these. More effort will be done for building the gate. Actual Lych Gate house building. I'm putting glue on the opposite side this time. It'll still stick, it's just I find it easier putting the glue. I overdid the glue there a bit. Doesn't really matter because that wasn't what I intended to do. Doesn't really matter too much, but those are the two walls. Two wing walls, as it were. There's a bit to fold around the end of the two walls, and then a capping stone on top. Okay. But that'll be done after I put the other capping stones on. Right. What we want now is Lych Gate. So that folds. We will need the fancy gate and the cross. The cross goes up on one bit of the thing. I painted them by hand using oil paint marker pens. Green for the sides, brown for the gates, and then black and silver for the cross. It actually looks better if it's silver because they tend to be metal, not stone. Or there were some replaced with metal ones, I should say. Right, I need to do the floor. So let's glue that so it is central like that. Or more like that. I've got to try and get that so it doesn't, so it's centralised anyway. Because that is important. Make sure the black bits are outwards. I think that's centred. Yep. Press it down. That's the floor. And this, I think, goes in the middle. Or, yeah, that way. And round. So, we need G3, G2, G1, G3 goes, so it's G1 in front, then G2, and then G3 goes on the back. So it's that way. And that will be inside there. Okay, I could have done this last night, but I didn't. Bit naughty of me. But it's something extra. You can see me working it out as we go along. I've got to make sure that that goes. I've just done that the wrong way round. Fortunately, there'll be something on the back there. I put G2 the wrong way round. So we'll do the glue again. Put G2 the correct way. I was not paying attention. Make sure the outer edges are level. Roof and other bits. Now that goes that way. Non-printed to non-printed for the inner wall of, there we go. Press that in. That will sit on the inside somehow. Why is that sticking down at the bottom? Is that supposed to be, again, okay, it sticks up a bit. Right, I'll stick that to that one, and then we'll do the other one. I'm confusing myself, that's all. I'm good at doing that. So it's... I know what I've done. I know what I've done. This one will be the bit that you can't see from the front. It'll be the back. I've been daft. Silly me. This will be on the very back. Like that. That'll be the back one. What I should have done is G1 is the biggest and it's supposed to be like that. Oh well, that'll be the back one. You can't see the back one so easily. Put that there so it lines up. And make it stick. And then that goes like that, so that the top is not... I was so confident. Yeah. That's annoying. Really annoying. I did not mean to do that. Means I may have to do a little bit of trimming on the roof. Again. What happens when you get overconfident? I thought the top had to line up. I didn't look properly. That's better. because the roof sits in that gap. And then that goes there, so it's level at the top, like that. But centred, not off centre as I've just done it. So that's the next bit. Stick that together. As I said, I'm going to have to trim the roof a little bit, just so that it doesn't stick out too much. My own fault. Should have been reading the instructions and not just going off at my own speed. I do that a lot. So I've made 2 mistakes in this video. That one will go on there. Do the first one, the front one first, because that's got the gates to go in. So we've got glue to go in. Bit under there, bit under there, bit there, bit there. And then in, round, down. Pick it up so it doesn't stick to the table. Will then be stick the gates inside. Maybe if I read the instructions in the future, it would help, rather than being silly. Gates need to be, that's the top, that's the bottom. And I want to try and have it so that the slightly lighter side is outermost. So just a tiny bit of glue. Doesn't need a lot. The green is so that if you're looking from the back, you can see the greenery, the green post. It matches the notice board. That's the only reason I used green. One. And if I can get it in perfectly so that they line up. Two. There we go, we've got the gates. They look quite nice. Deliberately a little gap between them because gates are never 100% perfect. Next bit is going to be more interesting because I've made a boo-boo. Can only put a little bit of glue on. As I said, my fault. I made the mistake. I'll own up to it. I was daft, but yeah. I'm going to have to work out how to sort the roof out, because that's going to be just a little bit too long. Oh, these are meant to go down there. They just slide in. Like that. You've now got an interior. That actually looks really nice now. Now comes the bit where I have to take away... How much does need to come off? About 1/3 of the way along that brick tile. Okay. should have done it. Yes. Okay. It's not going to be as pretty as could be, but I will have done the Lych Gate. I'll stick the wing walls on once I have where's the bit that needs to be against the wall because of my mistake. Put it in. Come on, down you get. There we go. I will disguise the mistake, but that looks pretty fun now, or funky, shall we say. Is that thick enough to hide it? Yes, that's lucky. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just thick enough to hide my mistake. The walls go against... Oh, it says in the middle. That hides the join. That's good, actually. Goes in the middle, hides the join. And then this I will stick on the back with a bit of altitude, so it's a bit like that. That goes on top once these have gone in. Just making sure that's solid before I put the capstones on. Just have a quick drink. And I really hope my action camera is still recording. Yes, it is. I didn't check earlier, which was daft of me, but we'll put the wing walls on. Hold them in place. Make sure that they are level with the ground, but without sticking to the ground. They also get capstones to hide the fact that they are 4 layers of card. Wipe that bit of glue off. And now do the other wall. Got my scissors because I needed them and I didn't put them back where I'd normally put them. Bit of glue. Level with the ground and against where the wall join is. That one's actually going to stick without sticking to the ground. It's trying to bend at the moment. You stuck? Yes. There's the Lych Gate, almost complete. We've got to fold these up to go round the very end. They go on before the capstones. I've just got to make sure I get the right bits. That one on there because it's dark. I think that's the right one. We've got a 3-bit one, which goes there. So there should be another 3-bit. There. And how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's got 5, so it's a 4 one that I need. There's quite a few capstone bits. There's the capstones. Capping stones, more accurately. So we glue the one with 3 bits. Put a bit of a gap so that the other 4-bit one, or the longer one, can go there. That goes in like that. Press down. And we do the other side. Once again, the bit on here first. Which goes like that. And then there. Shorter bit towards where the I've got a bit of glue on the back. Fortunately, that won't be visible. We then do that onto there. So, bit of glue, all 3 sides. Put it against the wall. Press it on. Make sure it's not going to stick to the table. After all, don't want to stick it to the table. And make sure my fingers aren't sticking to it. And we do the same on the other side. With this piece, just fold it into 3. And then glue at the bottom part. Just enough that it will stick. And hold it in place until it sticks. And then there is 2 capstones. So 2 big ones. I think that's the right ones. And then 2 small ones. Like that. They just go on like that. That'll be a bit more difficult, but I can do that with a teeny bit of glue on there. That's probably a bit too much glue. Put it on roughly central. Turn it round. I'll put the top piece on once I have wiped glue off the end of that, because it was bubbling, which makes it more difficult. Put this on as central as I can. Hold it down. That is looking really nice. Actually, I might stick that like that against the wall so that it looks fun. Now we just want a tiny bit of glue on the bottom of the upper capstone for the corner. put it on so it's central. Press it down. Do the other one. Same thing. A little bit of glue. Put it in place without it sticking to my fingers, please. And press it down. A little bit of overspill. Not too worried about that. And then we put the capstones on the roof, which I'm doing the back first because that was where I made the boo-boo. Not Yogi Bear's friend either. Showing my age. How often do you get Yogi Bear on TV these days? And not the film, the original cartoon. Oh, shut up, Insulin Pump. That goes on there. That hides my mistake nicely. And then we do the front, which also has a bit of an overhang. I'm trying to get the glue off my fingers while I'm doing this. I'll see what my insulin pump's saying. It's okay, I can deal with that. Once I have finished this. Come on, bit of glue. I'm only doing one at a time because it's getting a bit tricky, shall we say. Want that on there. Come on, stick. And then down there. Come on, bit of glue. It's deciding to play up now. Make it level with that one. Press it down. Like that. It's now got the capstones on all the way round. You can see my mistake if you look at the back, but if you see the front, you can't tell, which is what I wanted. Then, the fun bit. Which way round is it? That way? Or that way? Right on top. The little silver cross. I'm putting it right on top in the middle because that's how I want it. And as I said, some places they were stone, some places they were metal. I've got a little bit too much glue on it and it's trying to bend backwards. I've done this one so it's metal rather than stone. Let's just wipe the glue. That'll do. It's now got the little church cross and this will go against that wall. So even though I painted the back and most of it will be invisible because it will be hidden by the wall, it's still been painted. I'm going to have to put this like that so that it doesn't stick to the floor or the table. I've decided to put it in front of the... There we go, that's the Lych Gate. It says St Michael's Church, but I don't think that's the name of the church I'm going to keep. We will put this out of the way where it can dry better. And then bring this back. So I've got to try and sort out the tower roof. This is where it gets a bit more interesting, because I've got to try and form the roof without the glue being on the outside, and then stick the roof in. As I said, I don't think I'm going to bother with both buttresses. Might not even do one. That's gone skewed, but that's why I don't want to. It's really annoying when that kind of thing happens. It doesn't want to stick. I'll hold it on the table so that it has more. It was at an angle, so it did not want to hold. Is that going to hold now? Yes. The door part of the roof goes towards the main part of the church. One thing about this church that is not 100% authentic, the real thing, there's a slight kink. You can't see it unless you're actually on the tower of a church. But there is a slight kink between the nave and the area with the altar. If you look on Google Earth or Google Maps or any other mapping software, look directly down at a church, you will notice an ever so slight kink. It's only about between 2 and 5 degrees, but there is always a little kink. Has that stuck this time? Yes. Thank you. Right. This goes there. And then I will do the come on, glue. Why are you playing up? I'll do the capping stones for the church without recording it and show it as a separate video. Right, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm going to get glue on my thumb. That worked. Got it in place in one. I might put figures looking down, but there we go. That's the church roof. And with the Lych Gate, which would be quite a bit away, but it does look quite good now. I'm going to have to hide that gap in the Lych Gate capping, but that is a really nice kit. The inside, you can fit people in it, you can put lights in, you can do quite a lot, and it'll look amazing. It's taken me, what, 2, maybe 3 hours to do that. I've still got to put the capping on the or the capstones around the church, but that looks amazing. I like that the porch is open and the door's inside, so that people can actually stand in there if it's raining. There will be clock on the tower eventually, and I'll get the coping stones put on before my next video, which, as said at the end of last video, which I recorded the outro for yesterday after camera stopped recording because of issues, but that will be the next one, the OO scale municipal building, PO 362, a modern building with many uses, from a hospital to a high school. For me, it'll be a hospital, because that's the main thing for it. That will be July video. There will be an update to the finishing of this, where I put all these annoying fiddly coping stones on, or when I put all the fiddly coping stones on, but that'll be next month, back to the first Friday in the month rather than the second Monday. As I said at the start of the video, this is a video for my birthday. Decided, why not do a real modelling video for my birthday rather than a train sim one. At the time of recording, there is a Class 67 hauled special coming through railway station weekend coming, which I would like to film. I will try and film it both out and back. That'll be an extra video the following day. But other than that, it'll be back. Sorry. Other than that, it'll be back to train sim videos until I can do more kits. I mean, currently that's the only one I've got left. I do intend to get more at model railway shows and everything else, because I love building these kits. They are relatively easy. The instructions are concise, even if I make mistakes. Yeah, I do make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, I just make them publicly. When I do the municipal building video, I will do an update on the church just to show it finished. And, well, until the next video, have a fantastic time and be seeing you.
Warbler Productions. Filming trains and events that happen in town.
Wearing his red trilby, Dale can be seen with cameras 3 all set up.
Steam trains and diesels, electrics and freights.